my God. I forgot about that. All right, let's do this 100th episode because that was kind of funny.
Welcome back to the Bar Talk podcast, the 100th episode of the 100. Fish put in some applause and fireworks and
an air horn
and stuff. So 100 episodes of Bar Talk. So before if we do get into the questions, I have some talking points.
Okay.
So
all right.
When was the first episode?
Well, why don't we go around the table and tell everybody who we are?
Oh, yeah.
Where we're from.
Listen, I'm relatively new to this game.
It's only been 100 episodes.
I know.
Jesus. All right. I'm going to just stop this and Fish edit all that stuff out.
Don't do it,
It's
Fish.
not going to happen. All right. So I'm Andy of Inebriart, and I am joined today by Dan Mahoney of Stats.
What's up?
Jordan of Speedwell Tavern.
Yo, yo.
And Sixes and Sevens.
Yes, sir.
And then Millennial...
Oh, for Christ's sake, Karl Heine from New World Tavern.
Millennial Karl!
I think regular Carl's back now. He seems the salty one for this
I know,
episode.
huh? It's getting there.
He's going to stay on brand for the 100th
Oh,
episode.
so I suppose we should talk about how the podcast even started, and it was your fault, Karl.
Yeah, it was my big brainstorm. Everybody gets a great idea, and I'm still waiting for mine. But yeah, so I don't know what a podcast was. All right, to me,
I'm not convinced you still do.
It was a big radio. It's a big radio show. I still search for it on AM. But I saw that guy that's on TV all the time.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes.
Star.
I was going to say the black astronomer, but yeah, him.
He's an astrophysicist.
I believe when me and Fish were here, we came in to play trivia one night. We'd been doing Inebriart for about a year at that point. And Karl goes, "Hey, do you know that really smart black guy?" And we're like, "Hey, Karl." And we're like, "Neil deGrasse Tyson?" And he's like, "Yeah. He's got a podcast." I'm like, "Oh, Star Talk. I listen to it. I like it." And he's like, "I want to do that." I'm like, "Why do you want to be on Star Talk?" No. I want to do Bar Talk. And then just kind of like toodles off. Like,
I don't tootle.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Number one.
a little bit of a
saunter.
tootler.
He scoots.
Not that these days. You wobble.
But then I just remember looking across the table at Fish and being like, fuck, that's a really good idea.
It's the only kind Karl has.
Here we are,
And here we are.
100 episodes later.
And then I think I reached out to Jordan because I'm like, we need the straight man to Karl.
Yeah, you had just had me on the Inebriart podcast. I had been going to live drawing, but you and I knew who each other were, but were never introduced.
Yep.
And then...
Oh, that's right. We barely knew each other.
Yeah, we barely... And then you had me on. I forgot how you reached out to me. Through
his
somebody.
hands.
Yeah, with his hands. Ever so gently.
Yeah.
We recorded the Inebriart episode with Angela. The cunt chocolate episode.
I think we reached out through.
Yeah.
You said a bad word.
I think
No, I
you did
did.
too. You
I
did.
I said a very bad one.
Yeah.
Go listen to that episode. You'll see exactly.
Because Karl was on Inebriart, because that's the point of Inebriart when we're like, hey, all these people have been really great to us and helping us out. We should spotlight their businesses. So we had Karl on, we had you on, we had Tatum on. And that's kind of the point where we're like, this doesn't really meet with what our plan for the podcast was. And that's also like Old Colony Cast and Bar Talk were birthed within the same week. Is it okay to say to birth? You kind of looked at me.
You can say
weird.
birth.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of branched off. Instead of stopping doing what you guys were doing, you were like, no, let's just make another brand of podcast so we can keep doing this.
Yeah.
And when we originally came out, we thought we'd bring up all the issues and opportunities and funny stories in the bar and restaurant industry.
Which we do.
Nah, we just kind of ramble.
We haven't had a topic in years.
Yeah.
Karl and I used to sit down at BBC on recording days.
British Beer Company in Plymouth.
Yep. And sit there with my notebook and come up with ideas and a structure. I hosted the show originally.
Yep. I wasn't even on it.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yep.
right. It was just you and I, and then we would have guests. I think our first guests ever were Jimmy Agnew and Matt Hennessy. Matt Hennessy of
Rod and Sail.
Rod and Rail.
Rod and Rail, thank you, in Buzzards Bay.
And Jimmy's off in Gilligan's Island or something.
Yeah, I don't know where that guy marches to the beat of his own drum. But and then we had
that
Tatum
make him a
and
beat
Heather
off?
on
Yep.
for the Women in Business sort of episode, and it was very serious tone. It was a very serious.
It was very
tone early.
serious. It had very much an interview-esque type
Yes.
feel to it. It was very different.
Yep. that's when we had listeners, and then it kind of morphed into what it is now.
And then I showed up.
Yeah, well, that was when
Yeah.
it started getting fun. We had
did-
you and Nardone on, and it was just
We
you
did
just
one
kept
episode
showing
with
up.
Dan,
Yeah,
and he just
never
never
went
left.
away.
Yeah.
He just never left.
Listen, you guys didn't want to show up to your own podcast, so I did.
It's true though. I mean, that's when the tone kind of changed though, for the better. I think. I just felt like we would come in, sort of decide it was a day to get away from everything and drink, and we'd just record our conversations while we were doing that. And
What really happened, I think, is I reached out to, I think on my personal Facebook page, and was like, hey, who's got questions for these guys? And it was all like, oh, where's Karl get his Hawaiian shirt?
yeah, it was super inside baseball shit.
Yeah.
Especially considering at that point we were like maybe 10 episodes in. And I'm like, no one understands this. And then Dan showed up with his own questions in
Yep.
very much a Dan style.
Had nothing to do with the bar industry.
No, but it wasn't like super inside baseball. It was just weird.
Yeah. Like, what's your favorite color?
On brand for me.
So, what year did the Bar Talk podcast start?
1997.
2017.
Very good.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah. Nice one, Karl.
Actually, it was like
All right, that
like
was it. You answered the
September.
question, for Christ's sakes. Go
Did
ahead.
you look this up?
No.
September 6th.
yeah.
Did you meet Matt?
That's my parents' anniversary. Might be the 7th.
There you go.
So the weird thing is we've had 100 episodes, and the 50th episode came out 3 years after it started.
Holy shit! Like to the day.
No. No. Wait, where am I looking? I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry. No. So it was in January of 2020. But then from 2020 to almost to the day, because we're in February of 2022, we did 50 episodes in 2 years.
Oh shit!
So
we
we've been
ramped
doing-
shit
we've
up.
been doing
Yeah.
much
Well,
better
there was COVID. We had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
We still did it during COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
We were like, let's get together and talking to the same microphone during COVID.
We did Zoom.
We've been staying on much better schedule.
You wouldn't do the Zoom episodes. That's right. Karl was anti-Zoom. You didn't do one Zoom episode with us, did you?
Because he thought the cameras steal his soul. And he didn't want them to know that someone else.
Why would I do it? Why would I stare at a computer of me talking at my computer?
No, you see us.
You did one.
Now you tell me.
He did one when we had Brooke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She was checking me out on that computer.
I
I'll
did
tell
that
you
from
right
a
now.
restaurant in Wareham.
Yeah, you did. Dan, what episode were you first on?
21.
And
I wanna say-
Episodes. Sorry,
Episode 4.
much closer. Karl, guess.
episode 33.
6.
6.
Who knew I've been on for that long?
It would have been 6, right? Because we had Jimmy and Matt for the first 2, then we had Tatum and Heather for the second 2, and then you and Jeff were 5 and
Dude,
6.
I can't remember the 99th episode.
Yeah.
I remember the first 10, and then after that, I got a little
Do
worried.
you remember what the episode was about, Dan?
Parade day.
It was Parade.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Dude.
Yep.
Because it went up in
You
November.
guys are geniuses.
We did
I
it
know.
upstairs at Mayflower,
We
right?
did,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I came late and everybody was drunk.
I didn't
No,
drink that
that
day.
was later. That was
Yeah,
later.
he was on his first
I was
sober.
drinking-
I'm
yeah,
drinking tea.
Like, Jeff and Pumpkin were there. I'm sorry, not Jeff.
Sarah.
And Pumpkin were there, like feeding
cards.
Jeff notes.
Yep.
Yep.
Because you guys are still pretty serious, and that's where we talked about Buffalo. Was it Buffalo? What's the game? Because the other.
Oh yeah, Buffalo. Where
Yeah.
you can't get caught drinking with your left hand. If
Yep.
Someone. Oh no, you can't get caught drinking with your right hand. If someone sees you doing it and it calls Buffalo, you have to finish that drink.
And so we kept fucking with you the whole episode.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. So the 50th episode was January 2020, and that was Jordan and Karl settling a bet, but I think it was the third one.
Yeah, it
The
must have
third
been.
bet. So
We
that was
did
the
3
third-
arm
Yeah,
wrestling.
it was
must
the
have been
arm
the last
wrestling
one.
tournament.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
the last one.
So those are interesting ones because they're kind
So-
of shit shows.
Let's talk about settling a bet and what that means.
Okay.
So, way back when, during our 50th episode,
Well, this was the third bet, so it was like, I think 2017 would have been your first bet.
That was the first year we did
Right.
it, 2017. Yep.
so we were betting on the Patriots, and we said, you know what? Let's bet something stupid for the season. I'm not even sure. I think it was how many games the
first
Patriots
one
won.
we
I think
did
it was just the over under,
It was
right?
just the over under on the game.
The over under, and it came down to the last game of the season,
Yep.
and the Patriots won.
Yep.
and I lost.
Yep.
And the
by
loser
one
had
game.
to.
Yep.
And so what we decided was we were going to have an arm wrestling
Wait,
contest.
wasn't the initial bet though that the loser had a 10 bar and the other guy's restaurant?
Yes.
Correct.
And all
Correct.
their tips went to charity.
That's correct.
Yes.
And then nobody would come if I was bartending, so we changed that.
I think it was the exact opposite.
No,
I thought
and no,
so
I
many.
think,
But no, we got so many people. We did get so many people
And
that we
needed a
couldn't
bigger
feed it.
venue.
Yeah, we couldn't feed them at. We couldn't have it at Speedwell because New World's a little bigger, and I have a big back room that has a stage in there.
That's what
that we
she
put music. So I was gonna say something. Yeah. So I don't know how it came about, but we actually got a professional arm wrestling
Because Jordan always has to have a ringer. That's
team.
what it is.
No, the people that are judging.
We had the judging
Yeah.
were professional arm wrestlers. I mean, it was legit.
Yeah, how did we get them? I forget how
I
we reached
forget.
out.
You know what it was? It was Sarah from Mayflower. They had it for the Pink Ladies Brewing something.
Oh, the pink boots,
She
right?
had seen it where she went before, and I called them up, and they said, "Listen, if it's for charity, we'll come down for free." So there was 3 or 4 of them that came in dressed in referee outfits
Yeah.
that knew all the rules for the arm wrestling.
They
And
had
there's
a
more
legit
rules than
table,
you
yeah.
think there is.
Yep.
The biceps are bigger than my head.
Yeah, legitimate tables. They were very, very nice. And we had them, for the 3 years after. The only
All
year
3
we
years.
couldn't do it was because of COVID.
Yep.
And
Yeah, 2020 was the
yeah,
last year.
so we
did it.
invited all the bars and restaurants in the area, not all of them, but most of them, and to say we want 1 woman and 1 guy to come in, and we would have brackets, and it was just for fun. And we
That
told them
first year was
dressed up.
fucking insane.
We dressed
Yeah.
up like
Yeah.
it was professional wrestling. We
Yeah.
had the introductions coming in.
That
We
was
had the
wild.
music coming in, and it was a lot of fun. We raised a lot of money, and it just grew from there.
You couldn't get anything to eat in downtown Plymouth on that night.
No, everyone was
Every
closed.
restaurant
Yep.
closed.
Yep.
Like, fuck it, we're gonna go do
Well,
this.
it's like we had just worked through all the holidays.
yeah,
we
because
were
it's
the
like the Sunday before the Super Bowl.
It was a Sunday before the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
we did
Yeah.
Pro Bowl Sunday.
Yep.
Well, that one was Sunday, and
Yep.
then we switched it to Mondays after that. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was the most fun because everyone was letting
You
loose.
see all the
Yeah,
bartenders in the area arm wrestling themselves, and one guy's
Not
400
themselves.
pounds, the other guy's
Yep.
150 pounds.
Yeah, the brackets were always funny. They're all dressed funny.
Yep.
Michelle.
And it was all for fun, yet everybody kind of took it seriously.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah.
wanted to win.
I
Nobody
saw some
wants to
angry
lose.
people that day.
And it really was a lot of fun.
I didn't realize Michelle, who's my 50-plus-year-old bartender, you would never know it, but she was a
Ooh,
professional.
I'm not sure if I would have said that.
Trying to be nice. She was a professional, like a semi-pro arm wrestler coming up, and I
Yeah.
had no fucking idea.
No.
So she gets on stage and she knows all the guys. She's like that, a referee in the fucking thing.
I'm like, wow, you were really good. I never knew you could be that good at arm wrestling. She goes, well, I did it professionally when I was younger. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And Jordan's
Who
like,
does that?
I didn't know. I hired her like 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why we have arm wrestling.
God.
And really, it was just a reason to get everybody in the industry together and have a
Yep.
good time.
Right.
And you guys raised a lot of money. It was
Plymouth Area Coalition for the Homeless.
Yep.
Yep.
I think we did that,
And then we did the food bank.
and then we did the food bank. Yeah, we did the coalition twice, and then the food bank.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it was a great time.
feeding people when we're closed, right?
And I think we
Can we tell everybody what they want to know?
What?
Yes, I did beat Jordan.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
His
what's
record
the
overall-
record, right? 2-1?
I think 4-2.
Yeah.
Carl's got me 4-2.
And I think on the last one we tied.
Yeah, we tied.
Yeah, we did
We
one.
were gonna go do one more, and we were like,
It was
"No, let's
forget
just
it.
leave
Yeah, because my arm was on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
He's got
was
dad strength,
It was
dude.
always that like super impressive. Like everyone was geared up, and
Yeah.
I just remember like this is the first year like Karl took his shirt off, so Jordan took his shirt off.
Took a shirt off every fucking year.
Yeah.
You know, that last one was what prompted me to go on this diet. I saw professional photos of my man boobs, and I was like, all right, I need to lose some
Yeah,
weight.
but after Hawk Visuals, like shot some video. and
Yep.
did some nice stuff there. Shout out to Matt, friend of the show.
Yep.
Just turned 30.
I can't believe he's only 30 years
I know,
old.
right? It's fucking annoying. He's all like, "Oh, I'm old. Look at me being pretending I'm old." I'm
I
like,
own the business. Yeah, I know.
All right. So that was the 50th episode. When was the first episode of Day Drinking?
That was more recent. I want to say a year and a half ago.
Maybe
Yeah.
2 years.
No, not that long. It's definitely within this past year.
It went up in January of 2021
Oh wow.
because we recorded it
Just over a year ago.
Yeah,
I'm closest. I win.
It's kind of tricky
Shit.
because we recorded it. I think
Oh, it took forever.
it took forever because we
Yeah.
didn't know what the fuck we were
Because
doing.
we sucked.
No, we didn't know what we were doing.
I mean,
I was
we sucked
fantastic.
means
Yeah.
you, because I was
Yeah.
drinking and I did it really well.
Yeah. So they were so good they stopped recording you and had to make you do it again.
No, it's vodka,
All right.
and it's funny. It's terrible looking. Like,
okay.
The battery died.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you and I were just kind of sitting there.
And the
We had
camera
to
kept
drink
on
them all
falling.
twice.
Woo.
Yeah.
We're like,
No, that was the microphone.
the microphone, yeah.
That was the green Bloody Mary one. I liked that.
Yeah.
I was the only person I think that liked that Bloody Mary.
But like then, so we had to change the battery out and then make more drinks, and I brought like just enough to make the drinks that I was expecting to make.
Yep.
And when I was in such like, oh shit, I can't believe we lost that. I'm not even sure like where it died, blah blah blah. That when I put the camera back up, like I never kind of like checked it, so you guys are out of focus for the rest of the fucking show.
Hey,
It was,
you live and learn.
Yeah,
They've gotten much better.
I don't know about much better, but
I mean,
they're not as bad.
We were even
True.
talking about having like a bartender section. We even shot it, and we're just like, this is unusable garbage of someone making the drinks, and we're like, we don't like this. But Dan, you were on it with Keith.
Yes.
Keith on that one.
Yep.
And then we had, who the hell was the other one?
The rum.
Trillium Brewing.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember who the other pair. Oh, it was
Joe.
Joe and Ashley.
Joe
from
and Ashley
Speedwell.
from
Yeah,
Yep.
Speedwell Tavern,
They
yep.
were great. And it was fun. I thought it was good.
Yep.
It
The
looked-
drinks weren't, but the
Well, the video looked like shit, too. We learned from our mistakes.
Stay in your lane.
All right, top 5 episodes.
Oh, we guessing? This is by listens.
The ones that I
by
liked?
opinion?
This,
Yeah.
this is the most downloads.
I know.
Union Brew House.
Is in the top 5.
Yeah, you said pick top 5, right?
Yeah.
So I am correct.
Well, I'm just saying it's in the top 5. I'm not saying it's the number 1.
Is Brooke Bellis up there?
No.
I'm surprised.
Eh.
She has a big following.
What I
Um,
will tell you is the Union Brew House is the most recent one.
Oh, Jake French?
Nope.
Wow, I'm surprised too.
Chef Rossi.
Nope.
Yeah, Chef
Oh,
Rossi.
for Christ's sakes, tell us.
Because it's longevity. So all the other ones I
Oh,
think are
Tatum
from-
was up there, right?
No.
She wasn't first.
Old?
Are you going to pick all the... You got 100 more to go.
I know.
Old and New, which had Chumley and the guy from
Right. Coag Republic.
Quahog Republic.
Yep.
His name I can't remember.
Eric.
Eric. That's the number 1 downloaded.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got like more than 200 on the next episode,
Wow.
which is the Union Brew House was the second, which was number 1 for a while. The third one is Dan Mahoney's first appearance.
Yeah.
Because again, it's just an older episode. Episode 6 got more time to get downloads. The number 4 is Bar Fun with Jeff Nardone and Dan Mahoney.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then the rounding out the top 5 is Beer Chat, which had Kenny from Second Wind and John, who at the time was working for Lord Hobo.
Oh,
Bearded
Jesus.
Johnny?
Yeah, I think we recorded that at the basement of the craft beer cellar. That's
Yep.
what we're
Yeah.
recording there.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. I barely remember that episode. Shit.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about it entirely. I forgot John was on it.
That's just Kenny liking the sign of his own voice. Probably listens to it every morning.
I didn't see where they were downloaded, but it's possible. Who is the guest who's been on the most? I didn't actually write down the number.
You don't include Dan?
Dan is not.
Yeah.
with
Then
us
it's Jeff
anymore.
Nardo.
Jeff Nardo.
It is Jeff
Yep.
Nardo.
Yeah.
Because Jeff is always around.
Yeah. And if he sees the microphones, he will not leave until you invite him over.
Oh, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been on. Who's the host who's been on the most?
Me.
I have to be Dan, right? No, it would be me
No.
because of the no.
It would be you.
Yeah. It would
Do
be
you count?
No, it's
I do
not you.
count.
Yeah, it would have to be you. 'cause
No,
you were
it's
here
not
every
you
time.
because you were in the background for a long time.
Yeah, but still, I think he's got enough because he's the one common denominator after like episode 20.
All right, who?
Jordan.
Oh,
How many's he got?
I didn't write the number down, but Jordan was here for all the Zoom shows, which Karl wasn't.
Oh, okay.
There were some recent ones that, like, you were on vacation. Jordan was here for those. He was on all the ones that I wasn't on.
So he's got me by what, 2?
Yeah, it's more than that. Like, Zoom, we recorded, like, 8 months of Zoom.
I think I got you
Yeah.
now at this point.
So
What's up?
honestly, I was blown
thought
away
it was
by that
Dan.
because I'm like, I feel like Jordan's the hardest one to get a hold of, like to nail down a date.
I'm gonna have to look at my schedule.
But
and
that's
find out.
why, because I'm cautious, so I don't have to cancel.
Yeah. No, I mean,
All right, so if you want to do it that way, let's do this. Who was our favorite guest?
Obviously me, because I'm still here.
Yeah, I would say Dan.
Nah, I wouldn't say Dan
I
at
would
all.
say Danny.
I don't like to say favorite, but like I don't know. I guess I could say like memorable or funniest or something like that because I liked everyone we've had on.
You did?
Yeah, I really had fun with
You
Jake
didn't,
French.
you did not
Yeah.
like any of them.
I mean, there were certain people I think that didn't like. They got nervous in front of the camera for whatever reason, or like clammed up. The one specific doesn't really.
You
jump
mean
into
the
my
mic?
mind.
The mic.
Yeah.
Not the camera.
Oh, did I say camera?
Yeah, you said camera.
Oh, my bad.
I gotta say, Jake French, I was really pleasantly surprised
Yeah, we were apprehensive because we were wondering with the
because we're being liberal Northerners.
and we're going into we're in pandemic mode
Yeah.
and like and
Who was the guest that you were like, Jesus Christ?
We don't say bad things about people.
No, I mean in a good way. Jesus Christ.
I loved Chef Rossi. I went
Rossi
and bought
was-
her book like while we
Yeah.
were.
I think I would have said Jake.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah.
Jake was awesome
Jake
too.
Hill?
Yeah.
High energy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jake Hill was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
That's the one you went, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? I was like,
Jake Hill, I was like, are we gonna be able to put this out?
Listen, we
That was
said
a great-
this is Jake Hill, our new guest, and I don't think anybody else spoke but Jake for another hour and a half.
Not till the mics died.
if you go back and listen to it, it's not as bad.
No, it's
as
not.
crazy
I'm
as you remember,
teasing, I'm
yeah.
teasing.
But you have to remember, like, one of the craziest parts of that show is when the recording dropped.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
if you listen to it, go back, you're like, oh, yeah, it's not that bad. But you missed that whole, like,
You missed
Arizona Diamondback story.
Yeah. Where I was just like, oh my god, please don't name names. Please don't name names. We're gonna get sued. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really liked recording at the Union Brew House.
Yep.
I missed
I
that
liked
one.
recording at that club whose name I can't remember. It was with Lou and
Oh, yeah,
that was a
the Hilltop.
great- that
Yeah,
went-
yeah.
Kingston Hilltop.
That's a great one. That was a lot more fun than I thought it was.
He
gonna be.
Yeah.
Lou wants to come back. He wants to do day drinking in his
Oh,
And it's-
1923
for sure.
bathing suit.
yes.
That
Looks
was
like
a lot
Fred
of fun.
Flintstone.
It was
Flintstone.
insightful too. It
get the-
wasn't
the
just
hat and
like
everything.
That was
The-
another one we were a little apprehensive about because we're kind of like, oh, it's this exclusive club for men and blah blah blah.
Yeah, a little
And
outdated,
Fish
kinda.
was very like apprehensive, like I don't know if we should be recording here, and to me it was very nostalgic because then like my dad belonged to stuff like that, so I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I think it'll be cool. And even like coming out of it, Fish was like, yeah, man, like that's not what I thought it was gonna be. Like.
yeah, Jim was in like informative and like the
Yep.
guy that gave you the
Yeah.
background, and then Lou was the comic relief, and
Yeah.
I was losing. It was
Who
fucking
I could not
hilarious.
get his name fucking straight for the life.
Yeah,
of
we're
me.
calling him Mel.
Mel from the
Mel.
diner or whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Mel's Diner.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing is all our guests, like, I don't know who any of them are, so I walk in knowing nothing about everyone, so I'm always pleasantly surprised.
Right.
Except for Karl and Jordan.
Yeah, thanks. We're not guests.
Guests get like too fucking hammered too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You go back and
we've
listen
had a couple
to
of drunks.
Yeah, we're like, I'm not going to name anybody because they're people we know, and when we've all been there. But that's the only time I've really been like uncomfortable is like when someone's wicked drunk. and
I
they're
can
just
think
they
of 2
can't shut up?
episodes that I won't
Yeah.
name.
Yeah,
off.
they can't shut
They
up.
can't shut up.
I feel like that happened on the Hopetition a lot.
Yeah,
but
that's- you
everybody,
expect that.
everyone
yeah.
was drunk.
Scotty was.
Scotty was
Yeah. Sorry,
pants.
Scotty. But.
Came back for twos.
Which actually, I put the word out for questions, and Scotty sent one in,
Nice.
and I'm like, dude, what the fuck does that have to do with what we do? But it's Scotty.
Yeah.
So he wants to know, out of the hosts, who would win in a rap battle.
Me.
Carl, it's Millennial Carl. Look at him. He's
I know.
Death Row Carl.
See, I'm gonna say Dan. I feel like Dan.
It would definitely be me.
What are
You think so?
All right,
Yeah.
give it a shot, Dan. Go.
No.
Freestyle.
Not for Vegas,
I
who
think
will.
Carl.
I was walking down Plymouth about
There
a
you
quarter to 3. I hear a voice called Daddy. I always think it's for me.
Oh, you win.
All right.
I told you. Millennial
Pure,
Carl.
pure shock. I feel like it's going to take that one from me.
All right, go ahead, Dan. Your turn.
I just said you win. I can concede.
You made me do that for nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think that was for nothing. That was
Yeah, that was for the joy of everyone. That's a gift to you guys.
Yeah.
You're
It's a
welcome.
Bob Dylan song. I just upped the.
Yeah.
I upped the tempo a little bit. And Change names of
Me and Karl will karaoke
good.
battle in Vegas.
I was ready for the EP to drop, dude. SoundCloud Karl.
I was gonna drop the mic, but I got yelled at.
But Karl, what was your favorite? Like, you have a favorite memory or episode or guest?
No, because they're all important in my
Yeah.
life.
They're all his favorite.
That's such a cop-out bullshit.
No, it's because I can't think of one, and I don't want to say one and then think of one. 2 episodes from now and just yell shit, and then you go like, you got Tourette's.
Do
never stopped me
Do I have a favorite?
Yeah.
Union Brewhouse. It sounds.
Union Brewhouse is
Yeah, you could tell you were in your
Yeah.
element in that one.
But no, I can't think of one right now that was my favorite.
Yeah.
Really liked Brooke. You were in your element for
Yeah.
that one too.
But I can tell you I had some that I didn't like,
Yeah.
but we're not mentioning names.
I think 2 great ones were Aubrey and Mike Wisdom.
yeah.
Like, I've never
love
seen
Wisdom.
someone take fucking Carl's gusto away from him quicker than Aubrey did.
Aubrey. How can I forget about
Yeah, that's
Aubrey?
the one I hated.
She, I remember we had her on the podcast. I don't think Karl was there for that one.
The one
I don't think so either.
Lucioso's?
And we're no,
No, it was at
the-
Lucioso's.
No, it wasn't. It was at the beer cellar.
No, I'm saying I was at Lucio's.
Oh yeah. And we were talking about day drinking
Yes.
because I turned to her and I said, Aubrey, is there anything that you wouldn't drink during the day? And she just looks at me fucking total deadpan. She goes, yeah, milk. I'm lactose intolerant. Destroyed. And I'm like, oh my god, this girl needs to be on every episode.
Yeah.
At the end, George's like, she needs to be on every episode.
She was awesome.
Yeah. She's just real quick, super deadpan. Karl loves her.
I love everybody.
One of the early memories that I have of this show was initially when we recorded. I think we recorded like 4 in a sitting, and we would do like 2 guests and then 2 guests, and then we'd stagger the way they came out.
Yes.
And the very first episode, Matt talked about how he was opening an Irish bar in Chicago, and they hired a bunch of little people to dress up as leprechauns and run around the city and blah, blah, blah. And then we started the next episode, and Karl, you made a joke about little people, and I'm like, you realize that's like going to be a month away, and it's just going to be this complete random, basically hate crime. But I mean, that's kind of part of the shit we learned.
The no callback rule went out the window pretty quick.
Yeah, but it's like when you've been doing it for a while and it's not a month apart, it's a little easier.
I kind of hope people like maybe that haven't listened to every episode and have heard us make a couple callbacks will be like, oh, maybe I should go back and listen with you. You know what I mean?
And we do be like, well, that's go back and listen. Go back and listen.
right.
So at least we reference it opposed to just a random joke.
Well, I mean, you can futurize it.
This is true.
You could say, one of my favorite episodes was with Chef Brian Duffy when we did our 103rd episode. And you should go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
You should jump forward in time and go listen to that. Or show up at the event.
Well, we're going to have a lot of famous people on.
Yep.
Chef Duffy, right?
Yep.
Who else?
Me and you.
Yep.
I think that's it.
Well, hold on, let me think.
Okay.
You're right. You're right.
Like, are you going to invent famous people that I then have to try to get on the show?
Oh, I mean, we can definitely do that. David Copperfield.
David Copperfield is where he goes.
He's back in Vegas.
I mean, there's a lot of people,
Yeah.
He is
He's,
still.
he's doing shows in Vegas again.
we
That's the real magic.
have turned down a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not like you can get on the show just because you want to be on it.
Yeah.
No, if you work for Karl, you can't.
Correct.
It's also going to be like
Like, I
what's
want
in it
my
for
employees
us.
bad mouthing me before I fire them.
Yeah. Well, we want it recorded.
Right.
So when they fly out for unemployment, they're like, oh, they already said this about Karl.
All right, what else we got?
We have. Let's see where we're at. Okay. Is there a specific question that you remember?
We like every episode.
We do a lot of questions.
We get like the same question every episode. Like it's always like a tip dispute or like
Tips are easily the most common.
Yeah, it's always a tip dispute.
What do you do for TV?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
We had a really good question on one of the later episodes about what makes a chef a chef. And
Oh,
I
I
was
remember
like,
that,
yeah.
and we like because you don't just go out and get certified as a chef.
because we all have different opinions on it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good conversation. That was one of the later ones,
Yep.
though. I'm sure we've had other
I like
ones
that one.
but yeah.
I gotta say,
What makes a bartender a mixologist?
The suspenders.
I gotta say, my favorite question we've ever had was, how would you handle a customer asking for a specific gender wait staff? Because initially we're like, oh, fuck that person, blah, blah, blah. And then Carl's like, hang on. What if it's at a Hooters? And then it completely reframed the conversation.
Right.
It was way deeper than we... Even when like I kind of put that question in the queue, I'm like, this is a stupid question. It'll take like 3 seconds. But
Yeah. That's the way. It's
Yeah.
exactly how it panned out too. I was immediately like, "You can't fucking do that."
yeah, we're like,
And
fuck
then-
that guy. What a douchebag. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Look at you being the voice of reason, Karl.
Well, I like to. I'm probably looking around. I might be the oldest one here, so I want to be that voice of reason.
I can see that. Share your wisdom with
I
us.
was born in the '80s.
You were definitely around in the 80s.
When you guys, well, Karl, when you pitched this idea, did you ever think that you'd be going to Vegas and 100 episodes in, 5
No.
years later?
Nope. I figured 3 episodes and you guys would be sick of me. But obviously you can't get anybody else to do this. So,
I thought there was
We
like
can,
a
but they
lull.
don't own a bar. that
but
they let us
it's
record
it's
it.
the camaraderie between I want to say the 5 of us because Fish isn't here because he got promoted and he's
Yeah.
bigwig now.
He's cooler than us now.
But I'm definitely the best. There's no doubt about it.
I don't have the energy to argue.
I don't know if that's true.
There was a moment in time around that like 50 episode part where we didn't record for like a very long time. There was like a pretty big lull, and I was like, maybe we're just fizzling out.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then like the pandemic happened, and Zoom kind of like resurrected us a little bit.
A little bit. There was a little bit of that. We kind of bounced around a lot with like who was bringing in the guests, who
Right.
and just-
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because it's tough when you bring in a guest.
Yeah.
Do you not want to know anything about them? And that way it's more of a sporadic conversation.
Because you're not a big fan of not knowing the person.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid you're going to bring somebody in that I don't like, and I'm going to be pissy the whole fucking time.
You're always pissy in it.
No,
I'm
I'm not
here like
pissy.
every episode.
I don't know, Jordan. I think you're taking that title for
But I just don't want.
Yeah.
There are some people that let's just say you have a customer and that you had a problem with, you kicked them out, you banned them, whatever the case may be. My, I guess, fear is you're going to bring him in and say, "Oh, I got this person. He's going to be great," and you have him bring him in. You're like, "This guy's an asshole."
Yeah.
So I want to bring people in that we have, some sort of connection with.
Yeah. But I
It
feel
makes
like
the conversation go, and we don't have lulls like this.
Some
in
of
the
our best
conversation.
ones were people that we didn't, though.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like Jake French
Jake
is always
French,
the
yeah.
person that comes to mind, and we were
But that's
apprehensive
different.
because
That's somebody that nobody knew.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to have somebody that I know that I just like.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what you're
that's
saying,
true.
yeah.
Same here. There was
Right,
there
that's
was a
why I'm
couple
like,
I was
who's
like,
coming in?
You guys can do that, but I just
Right.
don't want to be here for that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think
No, they said they used to work for you. Well, that's because I fired them because they were stealing. That's going to be
Right.
a great conversation.
But I think that's kind of like us figuring out like, okay, so I don't want to say there's like a blacklist, but we had a conversation about like, okay, this
Right? We do have a blacklist.
I don't want this person on the show because it wouldn't go well. I have people on that list, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
We learned how to communicate. Look
If
at
you-
us.
If you guys wanted my ex-wife on, I'd have a problem with that. But I mean,
Surprise Vegas guest.
what the fuck? Oh, by the way, you're not getting your shots for.
Again.
Yeah, it's been a weird trip, and I never thought it was going to be. I don't know. I didn't really think about 100. Oh, I know the reason why we got a lot better, and it wasn't Zoom after
It was
COVID.
me.
We're recording?
Yeah,
Why?
because I got laid off.
That's right.
Because now I can record in the days.
That's right.
I thought you were going to say because you got laid.
Off.
Oh, off.
Off.
I'll call it
That
whatever you
is
want.
what it
Yeah,
is.
because
Yep.
now I can record in the afternoons, and before it was trying to get who could be around in the evenings and trying to get restaurant people in the evenings on their days off is
Impossible.
not easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Still is.
So now you just bother me on the day off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But you're around.
I have a life,
No, you don't.
No.
You
I'm
sure
sorry.
don't.
Sorry.
What were you going to be doing today?
Today's was my only day off.
What were you going to be doing today?
I was going to go to a bar and have a couple of drinks.
Well, here you are.
and shoot the shit with some people I know.
But that's what I like.
Show off his new hat.
I like this show because it is that kind of casual friends talking shop, and I think that's what makes it work. Even though Karl thinks it's underprepared.
Yeah, the questions help. That was
Yeah.
a big addition.
Yeah.
You started doing that.
I'm thinking about maybe the 101st or second episode. That was going to surprise you, but how do you download these?
He's got a new phone.
You have a phone.
I got a new phone.
Yeah.
I can stick it in my car and it says Apple CarPlay, and then that's I don't know.
One of my favorite things used to be like going into Speedwell and there'd be someone new and be like, "Hey, you know your boss is on a podcast?" And they'd be like, "What?"
Yeah, none of my staff really listens to it. They've been on it, but they don't listen.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was funny. Like my wife doesn't listen.
Now,
My
significant
brother doesn't
others
listen.
don't.
No.
No.
I mean, it's probably for the best.
They don't.
I'm good to her on this, I think, but
Yeah, but I mean, they just don't.
Yeah,
it's like
she
they don't
hears my
listen.
voice enough.
Yeah, they don't listen to you in real life. They're not going to listen.
My wife says, I
Good
listened to
point.
one, you made me feel like I was the biggest bitch out there. And I'm like, what did I say? What did I say?
Yeah, it's weird, and like that's a podcasting in general. Like I've talked to a lot of people, and they're like, "Yeah, my significant other doesn't fucking listen."
Yeah. I don't
They-
listen.
they
I don't
will-
want to hear my own voice.
They will in the beginning.
I only listen to
babbling.
hear my own voice. I skip past you guys.
I want to make sure I don't say anything stupid.
Nah, I don't care about that.
Do you have a
I've only-
favorite day drinking episode? Because that was a whole different thing. We decided to. Like,
Those are tough for me because I haven't been part of all of them.
yeah, you haven't been on in a while.
Well,
Yeah.
why don't you tell everybody what day drinking actually does?
so
It does.
So we decided to add some video content on YouTube. See, I use content there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know YouTube. It's like RedTube.
And so we just went with trying cocktails. And I believe I pitched it to you guys, being like, "Oh, we're gonna give you different cocktails, and I want you to talk about the drink." And then we edited all that shit out and just did the goofy shit you guys say while you're getting hammered.
It's true.
So you get 3,
4.
4? No.
There's 3 groups.
3
4
groups.
4 cocktails.
Yeah, 3 groups
Other
of 2
than
people.
how many
Yes.
episodes?
4 cocktails.
Right.
And you have a drink, you talk about the cocktail, you shoot the shit next to you. Then you have another cocktail, then you have another cocktail. And by the 4th cocktail, it gets a little funnier.
Yeah.
First one is never a
Yeah,
big.
and you got to remember when you're filming this, it's like
10 a.m.
in 45 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
I think the
it's not an
longest-
all day drinking thing. It's 45 minutes having 4 cocktails.
I think the longest one ran 47 minutes.
Yeah.
And some are like under 30. And I'm like, fucking slow down.
Yeah.
Like, they'd be like, we're done. I'll be like, I didn't even start making the next drink.
But if you want to be on it with us, email us at
BarTalkcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, don't do that. Because I've literally had people like.
we can say no. We're gonna say
Yeah,
no.
I've had people friend request me on Facebook. And I'd be like,
You have no
"Oh,
friends. Give
we
me
have
a
like
fucking break."
40 friends in common. I'd be like, all right, whatever. And I accept their friend, and immediately, I want to be on the show. I'm like, I don't know who the hell you are.
So you can ask to be on the show.
Yeah.
But
We have a strong vetting process
Yes,
of
yes.
I feel like that one is much more specific on. I don't want to say who can be on, but you need people who are really quick-witted and funny.
Yeah, you need chemistry between the people too, so it's
Yeah.
kind of you guys like match.
that's
them
what
up.
it is.
Yeah,
If you have the chemistry, doesn't matter.
yeah, you guys know how to match them up.
But on like this, you can have a much longer conversation and be interesting and tell a long story with a punchline at the end. That this is just like say something funny,
Shoot
move
from the
on.
hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's why bartenders work really well for it.
It's funny we're talking about that because right before you brought up day drinking, I was about to say we haven't had much like stricken from the record when we've recorded, but day drinking I have.
Yep, you have forever banned something you said,
Yeah.
and I.
What do you say?
uh,
I've only been bleeped. I haven't
you
been
remember
banned.
you were bleeped
Yeah.
once.
No, see, it was by my request. I
Yeah.
went back. I'm like, you know what? I kind of like sit on the board of the chamber in town now, and my wife.
Oh, I'm a
like,
big wig. Oh.
And I even like.
I'm a
reached out
host
to
on
you.
Dancing with the Stars.
It was something. It was.
I like
towing
eggs.
the line a little bit.
I don't think it was that bad. It was pretty.
Well, because we
Yeah.
right here, like
Yeah.
it's fine, it's funny. We talk like that all the time, but I just thought about it.
I
out
don't
there on
eat
social
sugar.
media.
Bread's the devil.
Yeah, well, it was me. It was about eating something.
But yeah, it was. You.
I lost
you were
75
like,
pounds
that can't be
overnight.
on.
Immediately, I panicked.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck! Did I just say that?"
And then I did text you when I was editing.
I'm not
like,
drinking.
I was like,
Want some tea, Karl?
Fuck you guys.
You want some rap?
This is my last episode, by the way.
but I did reach out to you, I think, twice since then. Being like, you sure? You
Yeah.
don't want that out there? It's pretty fucking funny. And you're like, oh, I can't believe you saved it. I'm like, oh, that's gonna fucking live on my hard drive forever.
And then we had the band episode
Yep.
that we took
yeah.
down.
It's back up.
It's back up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Dan's lovely partner.
Yep.
Yeah, Alicia, she said much less worse than what I did.
He said partner. Oh, actually, she's your partner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She,
Oh, you can say that.
Yeah.
She said some things about the place she worked at.
In a funny way.
Yeah.
Funny.
It wasn't even bad at all. It was
Yeah,
just something.
but, you know.
But it's a.
the
larger
owners
corporate
didn't like
company.
it.
Yeah.
But then they walked it back. They said, "Oh, it's like not that bad anymore."
Yeah.
So it's back.
A
was
year
funny.
after.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think like initially they're like, oh, can you take the part out where she like talks
Says
shit
we'll
about
steal your-
them all?
So
We'll
we should
steal your
have
kids.
like an outtakes, band bar talk.
Yeah,
Just
I
me
don't
saying-
think there's enough for a whole episode, but then you'd also have to go back through like because not too much. I can only think of like one other thing that was actually edited out specifically.
Per
Yeah.
request
All right, it
of
was
the
a bad
guests.
joke. I thought it was funny at the time.
No,
It's so much funnier just bleeping you out.
it was
too.
someone making a reference about the coronavirus that we're like,
Oh, really?
yeah, I'll tell you guys off there.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, because even when I did an outtakes of day drinking, we only have like 6 episodes of that. Well, 6 episodes, 3 groups,
Yeah.
30 minutes.
There's a lot of content.
That's a
there.
lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way I'm gonna
Yeah.
get through all this. But yeah, I can't imagine going back through. Because initially I'm like, oh, maybe we'll do like a, cool moments, and we'll go back and we'll like piece together an episode. I'm like, I'm not gonna go back and listen to 100 episodes. Fuck that. Right. Way too much work. Yeah, that's when we get Karl's intern to do that.
Yeah.
NewWorldTavern@gmail.com.
Have you had any weird interactions online, in person,
With goats?
with anybody that is based around the podcast?
Besides you.
You mean is anybody weird because they were on it?
No. I'll give you an example. I was walking out of the Mayflower Brewery one day, and I walked by this girl, and she goes, "Hey, Karl." I'm like, "Did you just call me Karl?" She's like, "Yeah, you're from the podcast, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not fucking Karl."
Okay, first of all, you don't say I'm not fucking Karl. Which,
Wait, I'm not.
yeah, wait a minute. Actually, you do say that.
But have you had like? I mean, we've gotten
No,
fans.
so you got to remember, we're bar owners, restaurant owners, so
Yeah, you see.
and
it
we're
all the
local.
time
We live
anyway.
local, so when we go to Stop and Shop or the local grocery store or wherever you go, and people come up and they say, "Hey, Karl, what's going on?" And you're like, "Okay, do I know him from the bar? Did I graduate with him? Did I kick him out? Did I?" So
But
it's
you never
it's
had
that.
anyone bring up the podcast specifically.
No, not really.
No.
No, we got 3 listeners. How many? How many you think I'm gonna actually
Christ.
bump into?
No, yeah, I haven't had anything like that. I'm like trying to think if there's like anybody I've had like a weird issue with or something like that that's been like on the show, but no,
No.
not at all.
I do have a lot of day drinking / podcast comments. Like people come up and say, I saw you on the podcast."
Yeah.
Okay, you can't see me on the podcast because we're on the radio.
Yeah. But you got the day drinking.
Right, we got the day drinking, which is a video, not a podcast.
Thanks, Karl.
I got to keep telling myself.
He has it written
Yeah,
down
but-
on his arm. Video.
After say that, like Karen and Karl, their favorites. That was the episode you did with your sister Karen.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
I suppose I'd probably get more feedback than you guys.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because I'm a people person.
Sure.
You're definitely a person.
That part is true.
That's the nicest thing you've ever
I
said.
know.
Cartoon character.
Do you guys have a plan / bucket list / something you want to happen within the next 100 episodes?
Yes.
I'd like to have my brother on.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one. He's always he calls against it because he works for me.
No, I just don't like him.
You can sit that one out.
I would say that we're about to get bombarded with celebrities
Interns.
that want to be on the show.
After Duffy.
Yep, and I think we should be very selective. I don't think we should just let anybody on. Like if Tom Brady comes up, I'm like, listen, Tom's probably not your podcast.
But if it's Drew Bledsoe.
Have him on, baby. Have him on.
You don't want Tom Brady on because he's the cheater guy, right?
That's right.
Okay.
But you know, maybe Robert Kraft or
The fuck are you going with this?
I love how he goes to sports people. Like, why would sports people?
I know. And you were the one that came up with this bar-related podcast.
well, who else? What about movie stars?
Tom Cruise, wants to relive Cocktail.
Dude, I tower over him.
I know you would.
We should invite anybody that made a movie about the bar scene.
That'd be cool.
Oh, we talked about like the bar scene type movies, but yeah, like we could try to get somebody.
Yep.
You know what? We were talking about our favorite like industry movies a couple episodes ago, and I
Yeah.
missed my favorite one. I said we all said like Waiting, and I said Chef or whatever with John Favreau.
I said Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. That was good. Slam and Salmon. You guys ever
It's a good one, yeah.
I've heard of that.
That's the Broken Lizard guys, the guys who did Super Troopers.
Yeah.
They did.
I
Slam
think it was
and
like their
Salmon.
first movie they did.
Oh,
It went under the radar, yeah.
It's fucking great. It's great, and it'd be funny if we could get one of those guys on. That'd
Yeah.
be amazing.
I'm pretty sure they definitely make too
Super
much
easy
money
to
for
get
us.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, going to Vegas to do a live show
Yeah, that's
is
gonna be fun.
big, yeah.
Have fun, guys. I'll be in Disney.
Huh.
That's fun. I'm not drinking anyway. What the fuck do you do in Vegas if you're not drinking or gambling or smoking or doing anything fun?
Shooting guns.
We're gonna be there.
That's a
for
great question. I'm
Business.
not- I don't-
There's nothing
Yeah.
I can do.
We're
there.
recording a podcast.
I'm pretty sure it's drive us around.
Yeah, I can do that at home.
yeah.
We'll get one of those like rickshaw bikes for us to drive us.
Run, Jordan, run.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Right?
That's
just-
a great way to kick off the second 100. You know, like,
Where
you
would
guys
you like to
wanna
go? I don't care as long as there's a big hill you got to.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
The desert.
It wasn't planned as
We-
far as like a kickoff or it just happened.
We were talking about before this podcast because we were talking about marijuana in the industry and how that's kind of becoming a parallel to the alcohol and bar industry. We brought it up a bunch of times on the show, but having maybe somebody affiliated with dispensary or something like that or a farm would be pretty
Yep.
fucking rad. Kind of learn something about that, get more into that.
I think we should record at Stats.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
There's no way to do it. It's too loud.
every day, all day.
All day, every day.
I don't think he wants us there.
I don't think it works there.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he works there.
I was about to say.
Listen, I drive there too many times.
I
Would
heard
you
it-
guys
I
come
heard
to
it-
New Bedford?
Sure.
All right, we can do it at Sixes one day.
I heard Stats is very small.
Yeah. Andy, to his credit, went to battle against some random dude for stats for me.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was wearing so after recording one day drinking. I think we're here to record a podcast. Dan throws a hat at me. I'm like, "What's this?" He's like, "You asked for a hat." I'm like, "Did I?" He's like, "You don't remember?" I'm like, "I don't fucking remember." So I'm wearing the Stats hat, rocking. It's a nice hat. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
And I'm at BBC, and I'm at the second from the end, so there's a woman sitting next to me and a dude who's clearly with her, and he's kind of like leaning on the end of the bar, and he's a little on the obnoxious side, and he's like, "Oh, it's a nice hat." I'm like, "Oh, thanks, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "What's it for?" I'm like, "Oh, it's Stats." And he's like, "Where's that?" I'm like, "Oh, it's in South Boston. It's a friend of mine, manages the place, got me." So it's my hat? I'm like, no. At this point, I'm like, here we go.
Ugh.
He's like, "Oh, no, I know that place. It's super small." And I'm like, I never got the impression that it was super small. Well, you don't know. You've never been there. And I'm like, okay, buddy, I understand that. But, I know the dude that manages it. We've talked.
Right.
Doesn't sound like a small place. And he's like, "No, it's super small." And I'm like, okay. So I take out my phone, text Dan. I'm like, "Dude, what's your capacity?" Which I'm sure Dan's like, "What the fuck is this about?"
That was a quiz.
Yeah. I forget. You said like 100 or 150 or something.
190.
190.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm like, so I pull out, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it's 190. I'm like, "Not a small place." "No, it's a small place." And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, that's like Main Street. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, small place." I'm like, dude, in Boston, Main Street's fucking enormous.
Right.
So I'm like, whatever. It literally ended with him like not quite yelling, but aggressively saying at me, "What about her emails?" I'm like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was a blast.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. Then I went in there not too long ago and saw him again. I'm like, ugh. All right, I'm gonna stay at this end.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy.
No problem. I got your back. That for no real reason.
Not having that guy on the podcast.
Yeah, he's not gonna be on.
No.
No. He's on the
Be on a
list.
different podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's podcasts who would super want him on. But
Yep.
yeah, not ours. But yeah, it's so it's last call time, guys.
Last call.
Last
Let's
call.
go.
This is the part where we go around and people can shout out whatever they want to shout out. And I'm going to go first this time. And I'm going to shout out my co-hosts and editor for 100 great episodes. It wouldn't be a podcast without you guys, and I appreciate. And like, it didn't even occur to me that like me and Jordan hardly knew each other when we started this, and you know, I like
Crazy.
to think you guys all at least pretend to be my friends. And
I gave you a hat. What more do you want?
It's been 5 great years. So
Hell yeah.
to 5 great more. And go back to the last episode, get the recipe for the 99th episode cocktail, make it and toast.
Yeah.
Put it up
Let
on
us know
TikTok.
how it is.
Yeah.
I need you to take a video of you drinking it.
Put it up on TikTok.
Yeah, a before and after.
Yeah. Don't do after, because that'll be like evidence of some kind. Dan, over to you.
Oh, all right. Who am I picking a fight with today?
Not the sun. You already did the sun.
You
You
did the
did-
sun, you did the
global
moon,
warming,
Global warming. I mean, well, congratulations for surviving your first Punxsutawney Phil day.
Oh yeah.
So that happens this past Saturday. Randomly, it was 60 degrees out, and then it snowed because you're an asshole, global warming. But yeah, it's a real thing, and be on the lookout for that random warm day, because you know Al Gore's a fucking liar, and global warming's not real. Just kidding. Congrats on
sorry.
100 episodes.
Yeah, man.
Over to you.
See you in Vegas.
Over to you, Karl.
Yeah, I'm gonna push our Vegas trip to go to the restaurant and bar expo.
Yep.
So for all our listeners down in the Las Vegas area, or those that are coming down, we're selling autographs for $5 a piece.
Yep.
Mine is 10, but I'll give you
Minus 10?
mine is 10.
Oh.
So so anybody that wants my
That's not a
autograph,
moneymaker.
The same thing.
Anybody-
Wait, I gotta do math now.
anybody that wants my
Karl gives
autograph,
you
I'll give
$5.
Karl's going to pay you $5
Yeah.
to take his autograph.
Anybody that wants my autograph, I'll give you $10 with it. And no, it should be a good time. Chef Brian Duffy's going to be on our show.
Yep.
So we will be in a live studio audience. So
Yep.
if you want to come into the audience and listen to see what's going on, feel free. It's
There's
on
gonna be
2 p.m.
75 chairs. if there's
75
anyone in it.
chairs.
Can they
4
ask
people?
questions live?
That is the
Excuse
plan.
me, this is my last call.
Listen,
you guys want to do your own?
No.
Yeah,
so I
the
want
plan is to
to. And then all right, that's it.
Yeah, the plan is
Jordan.
to have a martini.
Jordan, back to you.
So if you ask questions, use the most ridiculous name possible. So Andy has to pronounce it back
I
to
don't
you.
have to pronounce it back if they say it.
No, you definitely do. It's rude if you don't acknowledge their names, Andy.
I'm going to fuck them all up just on purpose.
I'm just gonna shout out Inebriac. These guys started as this is a hobby, Fish and Andy at TGI Fridays back when Andy had a ponytail, and
True story.
have turned it into something that is actually making them money now, which is cool. But it's also like become
If you're from the IRS, none of that's true.
yeah. But it's also sort of become like a glue down here. I have an art background, but in the restaurant kind of sucked that out of me. But it's nice to have sort of the combination of the two. You know, they do the drawing nights, the mug painting, all that stuff. But now I'm a part of a podcast that is in their network. They bring people together, and ultimately that's something a town like Plymouth that has so many cool personalities needs. So cheers to you, Andy. Fish, cheers to you while you're handling your seafood over there professionally, getting paid $10 more an hour or whatever you're doing. But thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've said it on the Inebriar podcast before. My favorite episodes are when strangers come in and friends leave. And you guys never seem to leave, but, you know.
We try, but you keep fucking saying it. When are we recording? When are we recording?
No, but it's been an absolute blast for 5 years, 100 episodes. And you know, I'm going to keep bugging the shit out of you guys as long as you keep showing up.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty.
So if anyone wants to get a hold of us, send hate mail, or you can be nice and send good feedback and let us know how that 99th episode cocktail is. You
Yes.
can reach us on all the socials at BarTalk'Cast, or you can email us at bartalkcast@gmail.com, and we'll see you in Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Yeah.
See ya.
So money,
Bye.
you don't even know it.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/inebriart to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at inebriart.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at inebriart or at inebriart6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebriart, and all the other shows on the Inebriart Network, which you can find at inebriart.com. Thanks again for listening.